We are back with more Fantasy Poland Monday. I was just telling Tom, a fair warning to anybody out there, this episode might be full of profanity. My wife and I just got a new kitten, and he's in a very rompy, climby kind of stage. Kitten claws are extraordinarily sharp, and he is enjoying using them. So he will more than likely at some point climb me like a tree and perch upon my shoulder like a weird furry parrot. But let's see where we are. Let's see, what other quests we get? It's Fist of Fury, Skellige, Gwent, Skellige, okay. King's Gambit, we can come back and do all that. I don't care about races or any of that stuff. Still have to do Missing Son and the Phantom of Eldberg. But I think when last we left off, we were just bopping around picking up these
the underwater things.
Yeah,
if you wanted to knock out those two quests, you're probably perfectly leveled for them. They're the Witcher hunts.
Yeah, but like I gotta. Yeah, you know what? Let's see where those go. But anyway, how have you been, Tom?
I have been good.
Outside of the back thing from yesterday.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better today.
Cool.
I was able to move around quite a bit at work today. I got a bunch of calls for issues where mechanics wanted me to go out to the hangars, so I actually got to get up and walk around and get stretched out real good.
Well, that's good.
Because that's always a difficult part about me with my back is just getting it to loosen is such a pain.
Well, and dealing with a 40-degree swing in a day is super fun.
Yeah. So I would like you, since you have seen it.
I like you too, Tom.
No, there was a comma in there, but thank you. Spoiler free. Hype the Batman for us.
Spoiler free. Hype the Batman.
Yes.
Spoiler free. This is finally a story about Batman.
What do you mean by that?
So ever since Batman has been adapted, and I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler free as I can. Ever since the Batman was first adapted to the screen with Tim Burton and what was his name?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. right? Ever since it has been adapted, it has always been about who the person playing Bruce Wayne was, right? Like that's always been super like way up in the front. So it was less like, oh, this is the guy who is Batman. It's Val Kilmer now. Oh, now Bruce Wayne is George Clooney. Christian Bale made it like a little bit more grounded, but it was still very much like okay, this is a more grounded, realistic take on the character that has been played by all of these other actors. I think one of the biggest strengths in the newest movie is that Robert Pattinson gets it.
That does seem to be his thing. Like, whatever role he's in, he just leans into it.
Yeah, well, like this is a guy who has been, like he's been getting on forums and asking fans of Batman, like, hey, so what's the deal with Bruce Wayne? And I legitimately get the sense that he's serious. This is, I think, the best portrayal of both Batman and Bruce Wayne, because it is from a very specific point in the evolution of the character.
It's supposed to be after Batman Year One, so
right? Like this is Batman Year Two.
Yeah.
Okay. Functionally, this has less of that Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns influence, which I think is better. Not to get like too overly meta about it.
Did this one actually do a good job of portraying the Batman as actually the world's greatest detective?
This does a good job of going. Batman's primary strength is that he is a detective.
Yes, good.
Is he the greatest? Now here's the big thing. Is he the greatest detective? No, he is 2 years into it. But he will be. I need to surface. All of the performances in the new Batman movie are very well grounded, and by that I mean like it seems like everybody is going all in and taking it seriously.
I definitely want to see Riddler in this because the trailers make him look terrifying.
It is pretty good. Did you like 7, Tom?
Yeah, so
you'll like this.
I know that the producers went into this movie heavily inspired by 7 and Zodiac.
Mm-hmm. You'll like this. It is more. You end up empathizing with the characters like more than you have had reason to in any other Batman adaptation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's and this is not to dog on any actor's performance. Acting is a hard gig, and there's not a whole lot of people that get that.
Just to interrupt you for 1 second, John.
Yeah, go nuts.
If your boat gets attacked again in any of those sections that are red, it will sink.
Yes.
Just letting you know.
I am prepared to swim my idiot self to a new boat. Let's go see what's up on this little island. But yeah, like this time, even previously, like with stuff like pick a Bruce Wayne. Any Bruce Wayne, Tom.
Let's do Clooney. He was pretty terrible.
Okay, so Clooney, right? with Clooney, you're like, hey, this is Bruce Wayne. You should care about him. He's a rich guy, and also he's Batman. Look, he has a credit card because he's got the Bat card. He's Batman. Now, in my opinion, those were some of the worst Batman movies because they just didn't care, right? Now, here's my personal philosophy on it. Comic book fans care about stupid things. We know this because comics are inherently stupid. Right? Like you can't be surprised when someone's like, "Hey, this is a dumb story. It's about a guy with metal knives in his hands." And people are passionate about Wolverine. Right? What's his deal? Oh, he's a short, hairy Canadian mean guy who's but he heals and he's a hero. Right? A hero with knives in his hands. Now that is an innately ridiculous premise, but that doesn't mean that you cannot use that to tell powerful stories, right? Even going back to epic storytelling. Hang on a sec here. Up you go, little guy. There you are. Tiny Screamy parrot. Even going back to like mythic stories, Odysseus is just a dude who thinks he's more clever than everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much. And he is so wrong.
Oh God, hang on. There's a kitten walking across the keyboard. Give me a moment. Down you go, pal. All right, that's.
The kitten wants you to play Gwent.
The kitten will have to learn to live with disappointment. The kitten also used one of my White Rafford's decoction. Anyway, comic book fans care about stupid things, right? We know that they're dumb. We don't need you to go, hey guys, this dumb thing is really dumb. Yeah, we know. If you take it seriously, you can make a good movie and you can tell a good story using comics because we already know it's dumb. There's a layer of like suspension of disbelief that if you're adapting comic book material, you don't have to you don't have to actually work that hard to make it work with an audience. The fans will know that this is who the character is, right?
I'm just going to say, comic book movie that most embraced this is dumb and we know it's dumb, Tank Girl.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's a fantastic comic book movie.
It is a fantastic comic book movie, but a very bad movie. Right? Because it is supposed to be. Like Tank Girl, I wholeheartedly
being enjoyable.
I wholeheartedly agree. Tank Girl says, "Hey, you want to watch something dumb? We dressed Ice-T up as a kangaroo. We gave Ice-T $1 million and said, put on this kangaroo suit."
And I'm just saying, the Margot Robbie reboot that's in the works, if they don't put Ice-T back in the kangaroo suit, I will be very upset.
He has said previously, people have asked him, do you regret that? And he says, no, I made $1 million. They dressed me up as a kangaroo, and I said some things on camera. I would dress up as a kangaroo again for $1 million. So all they have to do is offer him $1 million and go like, hey, you want to get back in the roo suit? And he'd jump at it. But like that was something that it knew what it was. Now, a lot of these other comic book movies that have been made, they know that they're comic book movies, but they think that means that they have to be insulting and stupid because only stupid, tasteless babies like comic books. Right? I fully believe that this is like a studio problem. I fully believe that at any given point in the X-Men movies, especially the ones that like got progressively worse, right?
Yeah, the first one and the second one were really the best, and then First Class. And other than that,
Yeah.
they can go.
But like as the movies get worse and worse, you can see it always happens on sequels, right? Somebody tries to do something new and tries to take it seriously, and it works. And people go, "Oh, I really enjoy this." And then they go, "Quick, while people are talking about it, make more money, quick. And if you go, "Well, but what's the movie about?" They're like, "We don't care, it's X-Men. They like the X-Men. Make more X-Men. Quick, the kids are into this stupid thing, make it." Well, does it have to be good? No, in fact, we should be insulting while we do it. The kids love that Spider-Man, make Spider-Man. Who do we got? Electro, Jamie Foxx. Why? Because he's a nerd. We don't care.
No.
Like,
because Jamie Foxx is hot right now. Put him in the movie.
Yeah, we're not making movies for critics. We're making movies for the stupid nerdy man babies who like comic books. Play Itsy Bitsy Spider because in case they forgot that they're watching a Spider-Man movie. Fuck you, nerd. It's the worst. Like, why would you do that to your audience? Oh, I'm carrying too much stuff.
And swimming real slow.
But like, why would you do that to your audience? Because you don't care about them, and you don't value what they find important. There is an intrinsic difference in what an audience, especially an audience for like a comic book movie, what an audience finds valuable and what the studio finds valuable. Because the studio only cares about profit.
So there was an island due north of you where you should be able to fast travel to go sell stuff.
Yeah, I am going there.
Actually,
so do I agree with Scorsese that Marvel films are not cinema? No, I do not. I think that Scorsese. Now look, I like Scorsese's work, but let's not act like Scorsese hasn't made the same movie 8 times. Right? Is it a movie about a down on his luck second generation Italian immigrant with possible involvement in crime because of endemic poverty in New York or Philadelphia or Boston? Congratulations, Martin. I've seen your movie.
But this one is about the Irish mob.
Right, but this one is incredibly well shot. Yeah. Great. You can do that with comic book movies. Do I think that a comic book movie is...
Case in point, Shang-Chi.
Yes, Shang-Chi had some amazing shots. But, again, I think that Scorsese would say, well, that's not cinema, that's CG. Scorsese is old school. Scorsese says, this is how you line up the shot and this is how you do it. That's fine. We'll get off of his lawn. Right?
Who's the dude who did Inception?
Christopher Nolan.
He also has an obsession with not using CG whenever possible.
Mm-hmm. Because again, there's a level of like verisimilitude, not to get too artsy-fartsy with the terminology. There's a level of verisimilitude where audiences can forget that they are watching a movie, and they are just like brought into the story, and it does not seem fake. The thing that I think most directors and most studios miss is that you don't have to like if we're gonna go see a Thor movie, you don't have to sell the premise of Thor to us. We're already there to see it. Just make a good movie. Tell a good story. And if Martin Scorsese says, well, but this isn't, this isn't real cinema, who cares? Who cares what Martin Scorsese thinks? Like, why does his opinion matter to you? If you're a director, that might hurt your feelings, and you can cry yourself to sleep on your giant pile of Disney money. Right? Like, if I made a short sci-fi film that I was really proud of, and Martin Scorsese says, "Well, that's not, that's not cinema," I'll be like, "How did you get into my house?" All right, I'm gonna very slowly walk to somewhere. Let me get my world map here. There's a blacksmith. Come on, blacksmith.
Only need to sell 4 pounds of things.
Yep. Back off, wolf. I'm too slow. I'm too fat to fight you. Yeah. There we go. Oh, God, not another one. No, wolf, go away. Not messing with you. But yeah, like if Martin Scorsese, I don't know why anybody would ask Martin Scorsese, "Hey, what do you think of the Marvel movies?" Outside of just like, we want Martin Scorsese to say mean things about the kids these days, right? Like, like what does Mike Tyson think of the Marvel movies? I don't care. I enjoy it. It's a personal dream of mine to see these characters like move on screen. It's yeah, the Irishman is fantastic. And that's the thing. It's a different movie, and different things can be different, Martin. You don't have to make the same film every time. You're getting real good at it. Like, Martin Scorsese's super good at making Martin Scorsese films. Right? But I don't want to see his hot take on Captain America. I think that he could write like a really interesting, like if they did another Daredevil movie, I think Martin Scorsese could make it really, really cool.
No, I need to see him do the courtroom drama of She-Hulk that we all deserve.
I think that She-Hulk would need to be more comedic, and I don't think that Scorsese has the comedic chops. Right? I don't think Scorsese's good enough to do She-Hulk. There's a hot take for all of you. I don't think that Martin Scorsese is capable of understanding the innate ridiculousness that is represented by the character of She-Hulk. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. Oh, sell that. All right. Let me buy some of these runes while I'm here, because I need to offload some stuff.
And you've got 26,000.
I've got like 26,000. Borsese.
Just make sure they're good ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
you want
I'm buying the 5%ers. Sign intensity I don't tend to use that much, so I could learn how to make the Tamer, or Faustino, or the Tyr Toker blade. That's like 50 levels away, so not gonna buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think I think if Scorsese made a Marvel film, I don't think it would be very good. And that's not to say that Scorsese's a bad director. It's just you got to do different stuff for. I
mean, I don't want Michael Bay to make one either.
Yeah. And like, hey, look, I get it. Scorsese has opinions, and he's welcome to those opinions. That's fine.
He's legally allowed to be wrong.
Well, no, I mean, like again, they're just opinions. You can have them. That's no problem there. Opine away, Marty. But at the same time, I see no reason for me to give a whole bunch of credence to his opinions on the Marvel movies. I enjoy them. It's okay to like things, even if Martin Scorsese doesn't like them. Why wild, I know. Like you drag me out in front of the mob for daring to tarnish Scorsese's credibility. I don't care. I don't care about Martin Scorsese. Let's see, 3% yeah.
So speaking of comics,
mm-hmm.
I recently discovered a comic series that I'm going to be reading.
Which one?
There is a Buffy reboot comic series.
As I recall, those have been fairly decent.
Yeah, I read reviews of them, and they said that they're pretty good, so I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of the show, so I think I will like the reboot comics.
Before Whedon showed his whole ass to the world. All right.
I mean,
Farewell.
he is a garbage person.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know, that's the problem with heroes and creative folk is they often suck.
Which is why we really need to embrace the ones that do not.
Right. No, spoiler-free thoughts on Batman. Robert Pattinson understands Bruce Wayne. Robert Pattinson understands Bruce Wayne better, I think, than anybody else has. He plays a character who is obsessed and has a lot of room to grow, and by the end of this movie, they do something that no other Batman movie has done. They let Bruce Wayne... Whoops. Tell you what, why don't we leave town? I stole a seashell and it made them all very angry.
Yeah. You should run away.
Let's just load the game, right? What time is it? Yeah, let's just load the game right there.
As Yennefer of Vengerberg told us, magic explosion in Skellige.
Batman learns stuff in this story. My only complaint is that it is very long, and I saw it late at night when I was already tired. And there are some parts where I was like, "Yes, we get the dramatic tension. Please hurry. I am very tired." But that's more of a me thing than a them thing, right? If you go into it, you know, well rested and like you catch a nap beforehand, you'll be fine. Okay, good.
So Rob brought up the point of, did you know that the Netflix Marvel series are migrating to Disney Plus?
Yes.
Yes. So that news is pretty big. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not included, I believe. So I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still needs to be negotiated.
So here is my thought on that, right? Like the legal wackiness is kind of the tricky part there, right? If you have seen a spoiler alert for Spider-Man No Way Home, right? If you have seen No Way Home, Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock.
So this is a point that I would bring up that doesn't deal with the legal issues involved. I am curious if Marvel Disney is going to edit the Netflix series. Because
maybe.
Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are considerably more racy than anything Marvel Disney has done.
I think with the series coming to Disney Plus, precipitated them putting on like content filters.
Okay,
right?
that I would be cool with them putting on like a warning ahead of time or anything like that. I just don't want to see them edit stuff completely out.
No, I think they put on parental controls, because you're absolutely right. Like, Jessica Jones deals with some real shit. You know, Luke Cage is a somewhat scathing indictment of the carceral state. It's not the kind of thing that people generally expect from Disney Plus.
And the violence level in Punisher is also not something they are.
Oh yeah, I mean,
really, there's R-rated movies on Disney Plus. Like what? Ron, give us examples.
Now I'm curious.
Feed us. We are baby birds.
tell us of the stuff.
But yeah, like the I can't remember if we talked about it on stream last time, but that the latest trailer to come out for Doctor Strange, with the voice,
yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, like the stuff they're doing with the MCU, man.
Well, and here
definitely did not see this coming.
I will tell you this: this is what I predicted, because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Right? Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was very briefly, like, I think halfway through the first season, was tied, like, timeline-wise to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right?
Yeah, like every time a new movie would come out, they would have an episode that would be tied in with it somehow.
Well, I think with Civil War, you can't have a show about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then have it, discovered that that Hydra has infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and not have them respond.
Yeah,
right?
And that was a really cool arc too.
And it was a really good arc.
The Hydra arc.
And then after that, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started to, like, go off the rails in the best possible way.
They brought in the Inhumans, which is
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was able to do more of more background for, like, the Kree stuff than Marvel was willing to do at that point. Marvel was still taking its time and, going on about, like, okay, this is a grounded world and here are how things work. Which I appreciate from them. I think that that's important. Let's go ahead and drink some Killer Whale. I think that matters. The Golden Kingsman is on Disney Plus? Wow. Yeah, that one's, like, intentionally racy.
I would not expect to see a Kingsman movie on Disney Plus. That kind of blows my mind.
No, screw you, buddy.
Those, by the way, even though they are not comic book movies, those are excellent examples of dumb movies that know that they're dumb.
Mm-hmm. And like that's the thing, right? The newest Batman movie knows that it's a comic book movie, is unapologetically a comic book movie, but also says, hey, we have a story to tell, and we want to tell you a story about this character and about how this character grows. Don't go into it expecting to see Batman, like fighting Superman. Don't go into it expecting to see, Batman dealing with, figuring out where Wonder Woman has been all of this time. This is not a this is a Batman story, and it is only a story about Batman and his relationship with Gotham.
Yeah.
And it is the best Batman movie that I have seen. I really enjoyed it, and in my opinion, this is the one that gets Batman in the way that most closely aligns with how I get Batman. If the DC, if like the DC EU starts taking this example, which personally speaking, I think is because of James Gunn, then I think that the movies will improve. I think that James Gunn basically said, look, you need to stop trying to make the DC version of Marvel movies. You're bad at it. You need to make movies about these properties that are true to these properties. And then he made the Suicide Squad, which is so innately ridiculous.
So good, though.
And because he was like, yeah, we're going to have Starro the Conqueror. Spoilers for Suicide Squad, by the way. You should go watch it. We're going to have Starro the Conqueror. It's a giant starfish. Isn't that going to be stupid? Incredibly. We're going to have Margot Robbie jump into its eyeball. That's something we're going to pay her to do. We're going to pay a guy to dress up as Polka Dot Man.
The Weasel is going to be in this movie for way too long.
We're gonna get Pete Davidson and don't worry, we only need him for one day of shooting. Then
also we're going to get John Cena to play the most serious character he has ever played that will simultaneously be the funniest character he has ever played.
And then like if you want to look, I don't know what it is about Gunn in particular, right? James Gunn has the ability to go, hey, wrestler, you want a new career? Let me tell you about this comic book. And I appreciate that. Because like Dave Bautista as Drax, John Cena as Peacemaker, incredible.
I still haven't watched the Peacemaker show yet.
It's incredible.
I was very torn on the idea because even though he was funny, like, I absolutely hated his character in Suicide Squad.
You should. He's an asshole.
But, like, the reviews that Peacemaker has been getting.
Watch Peacemaker. He's still an asshole, but he's learning. Right? Like, it's phenomenal. They treat the source material with the respect that it deserves. And comic book fans, or at least this comic book fan, if you do that, I get it. I see what you're doing. If you want to take a character or a property like Shang-Chi and make a movie about it, I absolutely see that you have basically taken an Iron Fist story and said, we're going to tell a Shang-Chi story using the Iron Fist mythos. That's great. Do it. It works well.
We're going to use a Doctor Strange bad guy while we're at it.
Yeah, do it. 100%. Like, fantastic idea. It told that story told a sweeping epic that had hints to some of the further weirdness that we're going to see in the MCU. It too had an innately ridiculous premise, and it played it completely straight. It played it seriously. It didn't go, what? Another magical world? That's dumb. Shut up. You're watching a Kung Fu superhero movie. Enjoy the Kung Fu superhero movie.
So I know we were messaging about this on Discord, but I just wanted to bring it up on the on the stream while we're here.
Yeah.
So Kevin Feige did an interview a couple of weeks ago where he was talking about Multiverse of Madness, and he brought up that in this arc of the MCU, Doctor Strange is the new Tony Stark. So like the way Tony Stark tied in all of the stories in the previous arc, Doctor Strange is going to be the new constant companion randomly showing up in movies. And I'm just like, oh, we're getting into the spooky time.
Yeah.
It's going to be so spooky and so good.
100% we're getting into spooky times. What do I think the MCU Fantastic Four would have to do to separate themselves from their predecessors? Act well.
No origin story.
Yeah.
Just go completely gonzo from the beginning.
Whoa!
Opening scene, the Council of Reeds.
Hang on a second. Tom, what kind of a monster is a basilisk?
A draconid.
Okay, hang on. I'm
And
gonna.
it's skull
I
difficulty.
know. It's very strong. Draconid oil. You sure it's not a beast? Let me check the.
I'm certain it's not a beast.
Okay, so it's a draconid.
Yeah.
I put my faith in you, Tom.
Wait, check. It might be a hybrid. Check and make sure it's
Let's
not a
check the
hybrid.
bestiary. Bam, 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 bam. Basilisk, draconid.
Okay.
Weak against golden oriole, grape shot, draconid oil, and ard. All right.
It's probably going to kill you.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence there, buddy.
It is skull difficulty on you
I've
right
killed
now.
skull difficulty stuff before.
Not in crap terrain like this where you can't even tell how you're going to roll away.
I've killed skull stuff before. Golden oriole. Swap that out for my killer whale.
So, but yeah, opening scene of Fantastic Four in the MCU. Just give us the Council of Reeds. Don't have an origin story. Have the reason why the Fantastic Four are coming into the MCU be they don't exist in the prime timeline.
See, I think that I think that like now is one of the worst times. I mean, like I'm trying to think of the most politic way to say this, right? Speculating about the Fantastic Four at this point, somewhat useless. Since Doctor Strange came out initially, right? Things I said as we were like leaving the theater from Doctor Strange, I was like, things are gonna get weird. I said it after Ant-Man, right? Like,
Oh yeah, Quantum Mania is gonna make things real weird.
yeah. Yeah, you're gonna die. You've never fought a thing in such crap terrain. Yeah.
It was luck.
Yeah, that was it. All about that luck, baby. I should have been able to get a trophy from that, I think. There's a bunch of people dead because of basilisk. Sorry, y'all. All right, let's check the world map here. But no, what do I think the MCU Fantastic Four would have to do to separate itself from its predecessors? I think it's going to be different because they're coming into a fully inhabited world, right? Like the Fantastic Four will have context that the previous movies haven't had. Previously, we have had to like waste a lot of time in the Fantastic Four movies on origin stories. We've had to have like, why did these people go to space? You know, why cosmic rays? How am Doom? What is? Why am Doom? Man is on fire. Why man on fire? Other man Rocky. Uh-oh. Invisible lady. How do we make that cool? Now we exist in a world where like some big purple scrotum-faced guy came down and snapped half of the people out of existence, and then a bunch of living gods snapped them back. Like, now people are going to see the Fantastic Four and be like, oh, hey, it's that Rocky dude. Cool. And they can just go on. Like, they can just tell a story now without wasting everybody's time. I do agree. They don't need an origin story. We all know how the Fantastic Four got there. Look at the modern Spider-Man movies. We haven't seen how he became Spider-Man because we don't need to.
I mean, the only thing that they have mentioned specifically is radioactive spider.
Yeah. But, like, we don't need that. We know it. We've been here. We've been paying attention.
So, what was I going to say? However, that said, not needing an origin story or anything like that for Fantastic Four, can we please go to Latveria? Is that too much to ask?
I mean, I don't recommend it.
Okay, I mean, I don't mean physically go there, but I mean, can we see it on screen?
Yeah.
Can we have the characters go to Latveria and it not be a very good time?
Do you want to know who I want to see go to Latveria? Tom, I want you to guess the one person that I want to see go to Latveria more than any other character that we have seen in the MCU so far. You know me, and you know the kind of, like, long games that I like to play.
I'm gonna say Wong.
Helmut Zemo.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
I want to see the dude from Sokovia go, hey, Victor, if I can call you Victor, this is a diplomatic problem that we need to get ahead of. And that's what I want our introduction to Doom to be. Hang on a sec here. I am once again overburdened. So I'm going to pull up here and drop this set of worthless armor I just got.
I am fully supportive of anything that gets more Baron Zemo on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the actor who plays him is amazing.
Oh yeah, Daniel Bruhl, he's great.
I watched the show The Alienist, which is available on HBO if you have it. It is very good. And he is the main character on it. But yeah, it is a very interesting, like, serial killer story set in New York in the, like, late 19th century. But yeah, like, it's him and the dude who played Bard in the Hobbit movies.
Who's the guy that played Bard?
You know who I'm talking about?
No, like I can see his face, but I'm blanking out on the name. And it turns out I cannot get rid of that crappy armor because that crappy armor sells for a ton. So instead, I'm going to ditch one of these. I gotta shed 5 pounds.
Luke Evans.
Luke Evans, okay.
But yeah, it's Daniel Bruhl, Luke Evans, and Dakota Fanning.
Nice.
In a very excellent late 19th century New York, like, detective serial killer movie, or TV show. I highly recommend it if you get a chance to check it out. But yeah, like, they're all fantastic actors, and Daniel Bruhl is way better than I ever expected him to be.
Yeah, he's great. And, like, I love what he did with the character of Zemo. Right?
Especially because, like, you definitely don't like Zemo. Like,
he's awful.
He's a terrible person, but at the same time, you're like, nah, I get it.
Yeah, you understand him. And he does have, like, that menacing air of leadership about him, but also, man, he's not wrong. He's a guy who shows up and goes, hey, you Avengers, you guys wrecked my entire, like, homeland. Come on, Jerry, you can go faster. There you go.
Well, I mean, to get to his like bigger point, the whole thing of like no one should be allowed to be a super soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He's not wrong.
He's completely right.
Like, yeah, man, I get it. And that's, you know, that's the sort of thing that I want. I love the layers of subtlety that they put into those characters. Because they take it seriously, right? Anytime you watch an actor who is taking their role seriously, there are like layers of depth that they are not really displaying. Right? There are layers of character motivation and character understanding and character history that, if not explicitly given to them in the script, they then have to like create in order to play that role, in order to sublimate the experience or to internalize character motivation, so that they can just like stay in character for as long as they can. And that's the thing that I think a lot of like a lot of people that haven't had experience acting don't get, is that it is hard to maintain for long periods of time, like acting like you are another person. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to do it realistically. So like the scene in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, right? We have a scene in Captain America and the Winter Soldier where Zemo gets out of you know, like is walking around in this nightclub, and while he is walking, he just starts doing this little dance, and the internet loved it, right? And he doesn't walk in and go like, "Zemo's here, time to party." He's just walking, and then he starts grooving. He starts shaking his groove thing.
And it's set off just that much more by the fact that he's got Bucky right behind him, being forced to pretend to still be the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So he is being absolutely as stone-faced as he possibly can be.
And like, why did people respond so well to that? Because it's a guy who just got out of prison and is like, I could use the blowing off of some steam, so I'm gonna dance. What about the super soldier behind you? I don't respect him as a person. Like, that's
bureaucrat's
fine. He can dance if he wants to. He can leave his friend behind. You know, like, I don't care. Zemo's shaking his groove thing, baby. That's the kind of thing that we want to see. We want to see real people, real characters, regardless of whether or not they are, you know, the leaders of the masters of evil. Right?
Tom Hiddleston has done a really good job of that with Loki.
Yeah. Yeah. Loki's like, an asshole.
Like, you can always tell that there's a lot of depth with Loki.
Mm-hmm.
when Tom Hiddleston is playing him.
Well, and especially like the Loki from the Disney Plus series, right? That's a Loki who's at a real weird time in his life.
Really abruptly too.
Yeah. Because the Loki that we saw in Endgame is not the Loki that we follow in the show.
Yeah.
Right? The MCU has by this point, like, you know, we're in what, phase 4 now?
Phase 4, yeah.
By phase 4, these guys have gotten to the point where they can go, okay, comics are ridiculous. We can now get weird with it, and people aren't going to be like, that was stupid. And that's exactly where you need to be for comic book movies. Right?
I mean, if the fans didn't run away with the entire Infinity War saga, they're not going to run away with whatever shenanigans they're going to break out with the overall threat of the Celestials.
Precisely so. And not only that, if you do it right and you treat the source material and the characters with respect, you can get away with all kinds of ridiculous stuff. Right? You can go, hey, guess what? There are 3 Spider-Men, and we didn't pay Willem Dafoe. We just kind of we let him come onto the stage, or onto the sound set, and he just wouldn't leave.
He showed up, and we were too terrified to tell him to go home.
Yeah, that dude's got a shockingly huge wang, and we're not telling him to go. Well, you can get away with so much of that stuff. All you have to do is just, for lack of a better term, you just have to not be an asshole about it.
Speaking of Spider-Man, by the way, can we talk for a minute about how heartwarming Doc Ock was?
Oh, he's great. He was fantastic.
A fixed Doc Ock was absolutely great, and I would love to see more of that, but I know it won't happen.
I'm gonna buy some Axes and some Ards. Is this the best? Yeah, that's a pretty good Igni. It's a shame that he doesn't have better Igni. Greater Glyph of Quen. Let's see here. Does he have a... No, he doesn't. Okay.
Electro was still very stupid in that movie.
See, I think that they made up for it, right? They actually pointed out, hey, the last time that we were here, we were not taking it seriously. And now we're going to take it seriously. Right? I think that their motivation is now, honestly, in a better place than it ever has been. I think now they're finally starting to, they're being more blatant about it. I don't want to lose all my stuff on that. 15 damage is pretty good. We gotta go. But yeah, it's always a weird time, right? Like getting people to kind of buy into comic book movies. It always gets a little bit odd because people still think that it's stupid kid stuff. Which, I get. I understand why people feel that way. I don't agree with them. But that is what, historically, that is what people have treated these properties in the past. Is they're hey, do you like this? You stupid idiots. And I think that fans have likewise gone, well, I did like this, so I must therefore be a stupid idiot. We're getting more and more comic book movies that are smart. And that's awesome. That is the coolest thing for me.
I mean, the plot of Captain America Civil War is not something that would have ever been made in, the 90s.
Yeah. WandaVision. WandaVision is a story about an abusive relationship. right? Wanda is gaslighting everybody. It's a story about somebody who realizes that they're an abuser. That's smart.
Yeah.
People might get distracted by the fact, like, oh my God, look, it's a sitcom. No, it's not. It's a tragedy. It's a very sad story.
And it's only going to get creepier
It's
and creepier.
It's
with
only
each
going to get
episode.
worse. You know, like it's a whole thing. But there are layers if you look for them. And if you think that it's that comic book movies are, you know, stupid dumb entertainment for stupid dumb babies, then they will give you just enough where you can write it off. Hey, there's a whale. Hey, guy. Eh. I have the kitten is very interested in my headphone cables, so John, hang on a moment. Come here, buddy. There we go. Goofy little parrot. See, he's very climby. He hasn't told us his name yet. Well, you have food, you have water, and you have a blanket.
I mean, it has to be something physics related to go with the naming convention, correct?
Yeah, we are thinking, because he is a very like runny, jumpy, rompy kind of guy. We were thinking Enki, which is a classification of comet. So, named after the astrophysicist who determined where short-range parabolic comets come from. So, plus an interesting nod to Enkidu from the Epic of Gilgamesh. So, several kinds of nerdery mixing in on that one. But we'll see. We usually like to give them that. Whoa.
Tachyon could also be appropriate.
Yeah.
Because it's a faster than light particle.
It is. It accelerates like whoa. Alright. Quit attacking my boat. You dicks. Get.
I have a gen.
I hate how
There's
you.
a gen here.
Huh. Is she on your shoulder too, like a weird furry parrot?
She is. You're on my shoulder like a weird furry parrot.
Yeah. Tell her that I would love to try these shrimp tacos that you were talking about at some time, but that does require that you actually like come over to the house instead of just make empty promises.
I'm sorry. God.
Nah, man. For all the shit I give you, I understand back issues.
Do you think I would ever voluntarily miss out on sausage and?
I mean, I think you did.
Pretzels. I not voluntarily.
I don't know, man. If I found out that one of my friends, who is a surprisingly good cook, was making slow simmered beer brats and homemade pretzels, his own cheese sauce for said pretzels, and hot German potato salad. It doesn't matter if I'm paralyzed from the waist down. I'm getting somebody to carry me there. But I guess we just have different priorities.
I mean...
I kid, of course. I just hope that your back's feeling better, and hopefully you won't miss the next one. Because, because I think we're going to keep doing that, like, every other week. I think I'm gonna cook something, and we're gonna do a mage game.
I think, like, we need to. This isn't really important for the stream, but I think I do want to like put a thing in the group about us starting a little bit earlier, if we're going to be playing in person.
I mean, I think that's a pretty big ask for somebody who didn't make it. Like, what time do you want to start? 5?
I mean, kinda. Like, I got to be up at 5 in the morning on Mondays.
Well, I can get a better job.
I mean, I would love to.
Yeah. That or just if they're like, hey, you need to be here at 5 in the morning, tell them to suck your goat ass. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life.
That wouldn't result in me being fired.
Can you do it subtly?
No.
Is there a subtle way to tell somebody to suck your goat ass?
No.
Oh. We'll work on it. All right, we'll workshop it. We'll find it together, Tom, you and me.
John, just pay me to be a world builder for RPGs.
Tom, I don't got no money. I'm an unemployed communist, my guy. I don't think that money's real. I make enough to get by doing stuff like this. Like, but no. That being said, I really did enjoy cooking for everybody. It's a shame that you missed it. You missed out on some awesome food and some great company. You know, I can
introducing a newbie to one of the best magic systems ever created.
Should have been there. Should have been there. You'd have had a great time.
Like
you could have laid on our comfortable couch, which is great for people with back issues. I know. And played with a new kitten and had Jen feed you sausage like you were some sort of like you were a hedonism bot. But no, you know, I guess you had fun in your own way, I suppose.
Jen has messaged me and informed me that I need to tell you she's looking forward to giving you your birthday present this year.
Oh, Jesus. I am filled with the kind of unnameable, unknowable dread that Lovecraft wrote about. Like, a chill just went up my spine. Lo, I am now afeared. All right. Leave the boat alone and come after me, please.
Jen says that feeling is appropriate and you should hold on to that feeling.
Yeah, it is. For those that do not know or are listening to the stream in the future, Tom's wife Jen is both hilarious and also history's greatest monster. And it's kind of a coin toss which one you're going to get, right? But like, yeah, she's got a twisted sense of humor, and I of course find that absolutely hysterical. But she's also cunning and plays the long game, and that fills me with fear. I do need to go through my my laundry and find the I Heart Shorts shirt because it is a comfortable one. Okay, where's this? Where's this thing? God, I'm getting a lot of messages. I'm very popular tonight. It's weird.
But yeah, so like talking about Mage, so Mage the Ascension is an absolutely amazing game. I don't get why they did what they did with Mage the Awakening. Like,
what do you mean?
Making the magic system so much less adaptable.
It's because it takes a storyteller that understands like differing opinions and differing narrative structures in order to make the magic work for Mage the Ascension. Like, absolutely, I agree. Mage the Ascension is like one of the best White Wolf games, both in terms of like its thematic content and its philosophical content. I'll tell you this, man. Running mage is, as a storyteller, super hard. Super hard. You have 5 different people whose entire ability and power set is built around the fact that they have a particular perception of reality, and the magic proves that they're right. And you have to blend all those together into one cohesive, like, narrative whole. Yeah, that's tough. Why did they change the magic system? Because now anybody can run Awakening, and it's a good game.
Is it a good game, though?
I mean, not if you're expecting Ascension, but in the new World of Darkness, if you want to tell a story about mages, sure, it's great.
I mean, but the whole thing with White Wolf Mage, whether you're talking about Ascension or Awakening, is our magic is will working.
Yeah.
And in Awakening, that becomes kinda like, if you squint, maybe it's will working.
No, see, I think that you are biased, Tom, and I understand the bias. Mage the Ascension is very good, but different things are different, right? Like, it's the you liked what they did with Requiem, right?
I did.
A lot of people didn't.
The problem that Masquerade always had with, so I love Vampire the Masquerade, but Vampire the Masquerade is very much tied to its mega plot. Like, the cosmology fixes you heavily in terms of stories you can tell. And the thing that I like about Requiem is that it opens that up so that you can be a lot more creative with, like, city building and how you're going to orient all of the different clans and covenants. So, you know, it works a lot differently than Masquerade does.
Mm-hmm. And while Mage was never as focused on the meta plot, it does exist in the world of that meta plot, for better or for worse. Right? Like, come on. Stupid boat mechanic. I'm apparently snagged on a barrel.
No. Try backing up.
Nope, hit the wrong button there. I swear I'm good at video games. Okay, reverse. Accelerate. There we go. I was apparently hung up on a drowner corpse.
Drowners.
But yeah, you know, like the different worlds and the different kind of themes that run through the games are tied up in the context of the setting as a whole. The reason why they made Ascension more modular was because the World of Darkness needed to be more modular. That was the entire point of their revision. The systems can now cooperate, whereas in the old world, not so much.
You put vampires in with pretty much anything in the old world, and they're going to get squished.
Mm-hmm. Unless they too have followed like the whole antediluvian power creep philosophy, right? Which is another problem with the old World of Darkness. Eventually, in order to hang, you have to be a dude of legend. You have to be, you know, the guy with the silver katanas and in the long black trench coat. Otherwise, the werewolves are just going to eat you alive. Mage, the Awakening. It brought mages into a world where the power levels were relatively balanced. Ha! There's a kitten attached to my leg!
Well, and also in Mage the Awakening with there being a...
Sorry, go on.
With there being a relatively fixed paradigm and also with the threat of the exarchs, that makes the setting very different as well.
Yes. But that's the thing. The moment Mage did or Mage the Awakening did the exact opposite thematically of what Requiem did to Vampire, right? Requiem or Vampire the Masquerade says all vampires are descended from Cain. Here's the history of vampires. Here's why this matters and why it's important. And now you're playing in this world, right? Whereas the magic in Ascension was functionally like, I don't know, man. You tell me where it comes from, right? Like, you ascended. You tell me what the magic do. I don't tell you. That doesn't fly in the New World of Darkness. The New World of Darkness says nobody really knows where vampires started. There's lots of myths and legends, but nobody's really sure why vampires are a thing. And Mage, it was like, Atlantis! Your magic's from Atlantis! Your magic's from Atlantis, and now there is a threat. Fight against the threat.
So magic is from Atlantis, but even in Mage, there's a lot of like, was it really a place, or is this just a metaphor that we're using for all of the like the time when magic was in the world?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like there's no history. We call it Atlantis because we don't have anything else to call it.
Yes.
What in the world are you trying to do?
I mean, I'm just trying to talk about Mage with a buddy while I do some rock surfing, Tom. Jerry Two Swords has been trucking it. Like, let the man have a vacation. But yeah, there is a unified metaphor though, right? Like, you don't need an actual history. You do all need a shared metaphor.
I think the only game that really has like a history is Werewolf.
Yeah.
Werewolf the Forsaken is like the only one, and it kind of needs it.
Yeah. And even then, that's mostly metaphor too. But the important thing in terms of like the setting cohesion is that it's a metaphor that every member of that group shares. Right? In Ascension, that is non-existent. The paradigms are so open-ended, which is one of the reasons why you like the magic system. Right? More so than any other game, Mage the Ascension is it's debater crack. Because if we as players can convince the ST that something is cool or tells a good story, then it's magic and it works. And there are always risks and consequences. And the pushback from our cool idea is the ST going, okay, but this might blow up in your face pretty spectacularly. And you have to weigh whether or not your cool magic idea is worth doing. You have to.
You can still debate at that point, because you can be like, but I did this, this, and this, so it's not paradox.
Right. Like I'm doing it subtly because of this. And it's like, well, that might help, like reduce the difficulty, but it's still probably an effect that people are going to notice because you're doing something weird. Okay. I can dig that. But, like, you're going to give me a chance to convince you that something is cool? That's what I live for, baby! I mean, today's my anniversary. I've been steadily convincing my wife that I'm cool for 13 years now. Happy anniversary, by the way, darling.
While we're still on a stream and have an audience, do we want to talk for a second about the fact that the stone that contains the nine-tailed fox spirit in Japan has cracked in half.
Hey, look, man.
Like,
I for one welcome our Kitsune overlords. Okay,
like, what is up with this decade, man?
throw it on the pile, dude. Like, I didn't have vengeful fox spirit on my end of the world bingo, but I may as well, like, put it in one of the bottom rows, next to Jormungandr wakes up. Fine, whatever.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna get a random ancient mythological apocalypse, I'm gonna vote for jaguars falling from the sky from Mayan mythology.
I mean, they're like 10 years too late. Their calendar said that it should have happened a decade ago, so. I've always loved, I loved how much people freaked out about the Mayan calendar. Oh my god, the Mayan calendar is ending! And it's like, yeah, hang up a new one. Like, do you have an existential panic every December when you're like, oh my god, this calendar is over? Okay. Maybe next time get one of the ones that has, like, January and February to help kind of ease you into the knowledge that time progresses linearly. Come on, guys. My TV show ended, and now the people inside the box are dead. It's just ridiculous.
Look at all these sunk ships.
Yeah. Drink our last little bit of killer whale, get these spoils of war, and then go and meditate.
So I have been playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, you haven't been Elden Ringing it?
No. So Elden Ring, there is a big patch that's supposed to come out in the next couple of weeks that's going to, like, do bug fixes and also add a bunch of, like, minor content. So I'm gonna wait until after that comes out before I play more Elden Ring. And also, like, the thing with FromSoft games is you have to get used to the idea that you can't button mash. And I have been playing a ton of Assassin's Creed games lately.
Which are button mashy, I'm assuming?
You don't have to worry about stamina. That's the big thing in FromSoft games is you have a stamina bar and you have to be careful with the amount of stamina that you use in a given encounter, and also you can't interrupt moves once you've started them. So if you, like, go to swing an attack at an enemy and you realize, like, immediately after you hit the button that you should have dodged, well, too late. You can't dodge now that you've already started the attack.
Where is this thing? Oh, hang on a second. No, sir. We do not leave. Leave the headphones alone, little yelly man. I need them to hear and speak. You cannot eat those cables. I know you're very tiny and cute.
But so I've been playing a lot of games where, like, my muscle memory is just not there for being able to play a FromSoft game right now. So I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn to do another playthrough of it before I go and play Forbidden West, because I never played the DLC for Zero Dawn. So I'm going to play through the main campaign, play through the DLC, and then go on to the sequel. And one thing that I'm learning after, like, I think I played it like 4 or 5 years ago, the first time I went through the game, I am doing way better than I did on my first playthrough.
Oh, hey, congratulations.
Because, and, like, I know you want to play Zero Dawn eventually.
Yeah, eventually. A quick side note, we have had a special request to do God of War playthrough.
Yes.
So we should do that.
And you'll be doing that as a new game plus, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Because you will have leveled up stuff and be able to be a real badass.
Indeed.
That's also one of those games where you kind of have to play it New Game Plus because there physically are not enough resources in the game for some of the stuff like the armors that you get in Muspelheim. You can't level them in a single playthrough.
Yeah, so we will be doing that fairly soon. I think this week and for the next couple weeks actually. Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. You and I are going to make a push to finish Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I am absolutely down if you want to play tomorrow afternoon. We need to complete that
baby.
because the 25th is when Tiny Tina's Wonderlands comes out, and I would absolutely love to do a Friday night because it comes out on a Friday. I would love to do a Friday night stream of that game.
We're going to do it. As long as we can get it installed and all that stuff.
So if you pre-order it, you should be able to preload it the day before.
Okay.
So
it's on my Steam wish list, so.
But just make sure you actually buy it before the 25th, and then you should be able.
I didn't see an option to buy it, but I'll check again after tonight.
Yeah, it might have been because it wasn't actually buyable yet when you added it to your wish list.
Yeah.
But it is now. So if you actually go and pre-order it, you can preload. I think it's 48 hours prior to the game coming out.
Yeah.
So it is good to go right when it launches.
Yeah, I'll just have to do some I'll have to do some calibration to make sure that that my stream settings are able to catch up to it. And, yeah, that should be pretty easy.
I watched a playthrough by the folks from Outside Xbox. You just almost wrecked your boat driving over a drowner.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of the whole not a fan of the whole oops, you hit a body in the water. Nope, that boat's gonna sink.
But yeah, so I watched a video by the Outside Xbox crew where they were playing Wonderlands, and they were playing the Stabomancer class.
I have thus far completely avoided information about it.
So the classes are if you're familiar with D&D, you'll get the classes.
Yeah, that's why I've avoided information. I'm like, I don't need to read this article about it. I am interested, but also I don't need to read the article. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, the Stabomancer is basically a arcane trickster rogue.
Makes sense.
But they showed off the character creation system, which is full on D&D. You start out with I think it's an 8, either an 8 or a 10. I can't remember in all of your stats, and then you get points that you can allocate.
Okay, yeah, you're just doing a point buy.
Yeah, and they went with a they dropped everything that they had into Dex. So I think they went up to Dex 20 right at the start of the game, and they were critting on every shot.
As well you should. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I finally just saw Daniel's comment. Yes, I panicked because the sun is going away. I must make a sacrifice on the solstice to bring it back. Yeah. Same vibe as all the world is ending! The Mayan calendar is coming to a close! Oh, stop it. The world won't end until the capitalists have wrung every last bit of value out of it that they can. When the world ends, it'll be extraordinarily mundane, and everybody will be disappointed in how it pans out. Crossbow. Crossbow. Shoot them, please, Jerry. I don't know why he's not pulling out his crossbow. Sometimes the controls for this game are frustrating. Like, I understand it's a modern classic and, you know, it's one of the best games ever, but, like, come on, guys.
The control system was definitely not what made it a modern classic.
Yeah, it couldn't have been. Get out of the water. Oh, still, for some reason.
Yeah. So the big lesson that I learned, I didn't learn it until I was almost at the end of my first playthrough of Zero Dawn, and that I went into this playthrough with from the beginning, and that makes it a completely different experience, is use the weapons. Like, they give you a ton of different weapons with different ammo types for you to use. And the first time I played through, I looked at them all like, oh, they're all gimmicky. Like, they all have some weird, dumb gimmick to them. And it's like, yeah, they're supposed to. The enemies all have a weird, dumb gimmick to them. Use the weapons that we gave you to fight them off.
Play with the weird, dumb gimmicks.
Yeah. And it works extremely well. Like, enemies that I had a very difficult time fighting, like the robo alligators, I wreck them now because I use the right weapons when I'm fighting them.
Okay. Well, I've got to get out of here because for some reason, and I'm going to have to reload a save or something, when I tell it to shoot my crossbow, it does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's just glitched.
Well done, CD Projekt Red. Okay. Save the game. Save the game. Okay.
Yeah, like,
Load
for
the game.
example,
Load the game.
one of the weapons that I hated the first time I played was this weapon called the Tripcaster, which, like, it's
casts trips.
it's a crossbow that shoots a bolt that has a rope attached to it. So you shoot it at the ground in one location, and then you turn and you shoot it at the ground again in another location, and it creates a tripwire.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great.
And yeah, the first time I played through, I was like, this is dumb. I'm never going to use this. But it's super useful, especially against big enemies. You trick them into following you through the tripwires.
Yeah. Tom, did you not play BioShock?
So in BioShock, I use the wrench for pretty much everything.
Tom, the best way to take down a Big Daddy is to shoot electrical arrows and just like, hey, chase me, and then watch them die.
Hard disagree. The best way to take down a Big Daddy is shotgun loaded with electroshock. Just stun lock them.
All of that, and I just fell off of a 2 foot tall ridge and died. I'm good at video games, I swear.
But yeah, the electroshot in the shotgun will just let you stun lock enemies.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't need to stun lock them. You can just lay a bunch of tripwires and then shoot them once with a pistol, watch them run at you, and they fall into your cunning trap. Then you go and you loot the body.
Still seems like more work to me.
Then running up and shooting them repeatedly with a shotgun?
Yeah.
And then bashing them with a wrench? Tom! Alright, so what we have learned from this then is Tom has to be convinced to use the weapons for the purpose that they are explicitly created for.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Your microphone sounds weird, by the way.
Is it better now?
I think it sounds a little clearer.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, you're golden. But no, I am. Hi, cat on leg. He's a very pointy guy. Ah. That guy. Okay. I can't. You can't climb me right now. The problem is he's only climbing up halfway and then like scaling around my calf and then dropping back down to play with more things. Kittens are the most adorable pain. A little orange weirdo. Anyway. My boat sank. I gotta go get another one.
Yeah. Is this going to be the stopping point pretty soon?
I mean, yeah. Maybe here in a bit. Let's check our map. There's a.
I think I'm gonna have to hop off soon because tonight I am doing my first experiment with sleeping with my wrist braces on to try and cut down on some carpal tunnel. So I need to kind of go to bed early. That's some
pretty severe jacking it. You got carpal tunnel, Tom. I mean,
So
don't get me wrong. I don't hate the player. I hate the game, but
it has to do with how I sleep. I keep waking up in the middle of the night with my hands numb. So,
are you sleeping upon them?
Yes. But it has to do with how they're angled, like underneath my pillow. And the wrist brace is supposed to help mitigate that.
Yeah. Amanda's occasionally slept with wrist braces, so it'll help. Growing old sucks, man. Growing old is a horror show.
Yeah. But, you know, hey, maybe the nine-tailed fox will fix that for us.
Yeah, I mean, it does beat the alternative. But, yeah.
The alternative being
death,
aging backwards like Merlin,
or like a whole Benjamin Button thing. Yeah, that would be absolute garbage too. But once you kind of wrap your head around, you know, again the forward progression of time and come to peace with it, then you know, things get a little bit better.
I have to come to peace with it. That's terrible.
Yeah, like you can't spend that much time raging against the dying of the light, right? Like otherwise you won't have time for activities. If you get into like an existential, you know, an existential angst kind of feedback loop, you won't have time to play any video games at all. You'll be too full of dread.
Can't let the ennui get in the way of FromSoft.
Don't let it settle in. Don't let it settle in. You lose the ability to appreciate things if you let the angst settle in. No. So far, I have found that the way of conceptualizing agency and worth in a world that very clearly treats you like you have none is to manufacture your own subtle celebrations, like cooking bratwursts for friends, and then taunting the friends that can't show up about them missing your dope-ass pretzels.
Why do you hate me, John?
Because you didn't show up and eat my pretzels, Tom. Because sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion. By the way, hearkening back to our previous topic of conversation, you want to know what cinema is? The first 5 minutes of Southland Tales. That's better cinema than Martin Scorsese's ever dreamed of.
Still have never seen that movie.
You don't need to watch it. The rest of it's bad, but in the first 5 minutes, they hit Abilene, Texas with a nuclear strike.
Oh.
So very clearly, biased as I may be, I think that's the greatest opening in modern movie history.
Also, the most random place that could ever be hit with a nuclear weapon.
Nah, there's an Air Force an Air Force base there. All of the high tech bombing programs run out of Dias. There we go. That being said, though, Abilene itself, like as a city, man, that place sucks. It's dominated by, for lack of a better term, a shadowy cabal of evangelical conservative Christians. Like, there are great people there, but the town itself, dude, it blows. Ah, guy! Go easy on the ankles there, little dude. Get down in the water, you... The monsters are making me overly salty today. There. Gonna surface and... Alright, where's this last thing? And then I think after this is where we will call it for the night.
Seems like a good stopping point.
Yeah. Let's get back to the shore, meditate, save, and high-five each other. And I sure hope that everybody has a good week this week. Check us out tomorrow. Tomorrow evening we'll play more Borderlands 3. Go watch.
Last time we played, JON was showing off his absolutely ridiculous build.
Oh yeah, and it's only gonna get worse. Yay! Oh, okay, I've got. Hi!
Freaking take every single boost that you get to melee attacks, and then get a gun
that
whose
does
shots
melee.
count as melee attacks.
I shoot punches. All right, meditation. There we go. Zone out until 4 a.m. and save the game. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Come back tomorrow. Make sure that you're like, commented, subscribed, all of that stuff. Feed the algorithm or don't. I'm not your dad. I don't care. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for me. Behold a kitten. He's the new star of the channel. We'll let you know once we figure out what his name is. And everybody, have a wonderful week. Be kind out there. The world is like really dark and terrifying, and it's full of a lot of complicated issues. Try to make it better. You know? Try caring. It does wonders. You are just a precious furry being. Just mostly pointy. All right, everybody have a lovely night. See you guys next time.